bad cop?
Nah. Good cop and bad cop left for the day. I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Boom! Season 2. We are here. We're season 2. And we're on to season 2. Let that all right there. Sopranos, The Shield, Mad Men. 4 episodes of Mad Men covered by Coffin Mark McChaka. He ate pizza. He's probably choking on crust. Matt will be covering The Shield, coming off of Captain America, Brave New World. And I'm here to talk about the dysfunctional family of The Sopranos. Mark, how are you? How was your viewing experience this week?
Yeah, thing I find interesting about going through these shows is realizing, or at the very least, 2 of them are kind of hangout shows, and we get the privilege of hanging out with all these people. And although most of them aren't good, as we're just finding out how not good they all are. And then the other show is about some dirty cops. So, that's what, we're going with. But it's still a fun time.
Yeah. Matt, coming off a movie, how was your viewing experience? Not that movie, but these shows. Screw movies here. We don't like movies. We like television.
No. We're all about the TV. 9 hours, 10 hours a week. That's all we need. We're jumping into season 2. I don't think that any of these shows really kind of took their time, just getting us back into everything. I know The Shield definitely crammed 5 episodes worth of stuff into these 3 episodes that we get to talk about. So it should be interesting.
No one ever asked me how my viewing experience was. Mine was fine. Here's the thing. I've heard The Sopranos. I've heard of Mad Men. The show I've never heard of The Shield. And after watching season 2, I really am confused why it never reached heights. Because I'm enjoying the hell out of this show. So I'm interested. And speaking of that, Matt, take us through The Shield and what old Vic's going through.
Vic is not having a great time right now. We're going to start season 2 with episode 1, The Quick Fix.
Nothing's ever quick with this team.
Which, after everything that happened with last season, they thought the best way to start the season was burning 2 men alive.
Most interesting, fire, that was wild.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw it like that before, but I was like, oh, wow, how are they going to just keep the same intensity? Oh, we just add 2 to the body count right away.
We're just going to tire some guys to some poles, soak them in gasoline, and just light them on fire. Meanwhile, Vic has been working with a private detective. We find out that his family's been gone for about, 5 weeks. So the private detective thinks he's finally tracked down his wife. So they go to this motel, and Vic busts the door into the motel with his gun out. So thankfully this wasn't his wife, with some other man. But so that's kind of how he's going. He's just kind of breaking down and not having a great time. Meanwhile, we cut over. The other members of the strike team are working with Tio, our new drug dealer friend, as he's getting his latest shipment of drugs. So they load all that up and they go. And unfortunately, Tio gets pulled over by the county sheriff as Shane and the other guys are there. They're able to kind of intercept and try to say that the drugs are for a sting operation that they're running. And of course, the sheriff wants to get a little bit more information, so he calls Vic and Aceveda. Vic shows up, trying to cover it all up, but then Aceveda shows up right after him. But here's the plot twist: Aceveda covers for them. He's got them dead to rights right here, but he goes along with it. He covers for him and tells Vic that they need to talk. So Aceveda kind of
fuck.
spent the whole last season trying to get these guys, and he's got them right now. But nope, we're not doing that.
Every time it's just like, you know what? We're fine.
So Aceveda tells Vic that he's concerned that Vic hasn't really been working on his A game lately. Arrests are down, and he tells him that a civilian auditor is going to be coming around the barn, which is a problem for both of them if Vic can't get his act together. So the strike team, they bring in a couple of other drug dealers who they found with an unusual amount of cocaine to kind of cover that up a little bit. Meanwhile, Claudette and Dutch are investigating the burned bodies, which Dutch says the method has become popular with the cartels. Tio calls Vic when one of his guys starts vomiting up blood. They're able to get him to the hospital, and Vic says they need to have all the cocaine tested. Let's see here. Vic and Lem question Alvarez, one of the guys that they brought in with the drugs, and kind of asked him how he got his hands on so much coke. And he said he got it from the Quintero brothers. So Vic passes on these names on to Claudette and tells her that they may be involved in the burnings. Meanwhile, we go back to the private detective and Vic, and the private detective tells Vic that for $50,000, you know, I can get a whole network of private detectives all around the country. We can track her down like nothing. I just need that $50,000 like tonight. So
logical.
Which Vic's like, no problem. I got that. So Vic
I just don't got it on me. Like, that's the problem.
So Vic goes to their, I guess they have a storage unit where they've been keeping all the money that they've been squirreling away. But when he gets there, Shane's there, and he tells them that the money's gone. That Shane kind of took all the money and invested it in the drug business to kind of double their earnings and stuff. Vic not super happy about that, but yeah. So meanwhile, cut to Claudette and Dutch. They are questioning Kristen Bell because she was dating one of the burned victims, and she says that it was her boyfriend. And when he turned down the cartel, they took her, raped her, and tattooed a dove on her face so that she would always remember. So kind of not great. Bad guys, but yeah.
Yeah, like, wow. Like, everybody's calling card on the show is rape. Like, it's wild. I'm not living in this area ever. Like, that's so wild.
The test on the cocaine comes back. It was poison, and they figured out it was the Quintero brothers that poisoned the cocaine. And of course, the private detective is still on Vic saying, hey, man, I need that money tonight if we're going to get rolling on this. So Vic tells the strike team that they're going to take a road trip down to Mexico to get their money back from the cartel, which as you do. Yeah. So once they get down to Tijuana, Vic tells Shane and Lem to go find them some guns, which they immediately get robbed at gunpoint by the people they were trying to get guns from. Definitely sounds like a Shane thing to do. Dutch then questions one of the younger sisters of one of the victims, but Claudette comes in and takes her away, telling Dutch that he can't be questioning a minor like that without her family present or knowing about it. Makes sense. The strike team is able to disarm some of the members of the cartel and take one of the brothers, Mr. Navarro. They put a tire on him, soak it in gas. But he tells them that, hey, no, I can get your money. So he calls up his people, and he's able to get them $400,000. But Vic decides that, you know what, we got the money. We got this guy. We're going to take him too. So we're going to take him back across the border and turn him over to the feds because they're looking for this guy too.
I was absolutely like the fact that they were able to get into Mexico, grab a guy after they got robbed.
Yeah.
Grab the guy, put him in the car.
Yeah. Get the car shot up.
Have a casual conversation about date rape drugs. Like, y'all don't act like you don't know.
Oh, Shane definitely knows some date rape drugs.
Wild accusation. Walter Goggins, creep, knows apparently enough about it. And then all of a sudden they get him in the car and then they like go back across state lines with the guy.
Yeah. Vic is able to kind of sweet talk his way through the Border Patrol. They got some bumper stickers over the bullet holes, and they rigged the trunk so it can't be opened. And yeah, Vic's like, hey.
I mean, also, once that guy goes to prison, what's stopping him from saying, "Hey, these guys stole $400,000 from me. You gonna do something about that?"
You gonna believe a cartel guy or the cops?
Come on, Mark. Jeez.
And besides, Acevedo's like pro Vic right now, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah, he had a fucking change of heart.
The auditor gives Dutch a hard time because she's trying to get all the files about the
hard time. Is that what you consider that? He undressed him in front of the entire. Why? She was crazy.
All she asked for was one file, and he couldn't get her that file within a few hours.
I'll get it to you.
So.
Listen, I asked nicely the first time. There's been people dying here, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ. Man's just getting, like, yeah. Matt's the guy that gets screamed at and be like, yeah, she's a little upset. Like, fucking eat it. Wild. I was blown away. I was like, good Lord. Because I like looked over at something grabbed my attention, and then all of a sudden I hear this yelling. I was like, Jesus, how did this woman go from 0 to 60?
Well, you're going to listen that she then gives Acevedo a hard time when he can't produce Vic. She tells him that it's his city council opponents are the ones that sent her there to investigate the barn. But she's going to do a fair investigation. If there is anything to find, she's going to find it. But she's not going to go just screw him over nothing. So at least she's got her morals and stuff. Meanwhile, during this, there's been a couple scenes of Julian trying to help out this 10-year-old kid who has got graffitiing some stuff. So he's just going to try to put him on the right path. And then in the course of that, he also kind of asked out the mother. So there's that whole thing. I guess his classes must be working out for him okay. So
I'm not gay no more. I like women. That meme is all I thought of.
And then some good news. The private detective tells Vic that after getting that money, hey, we're able to track down your wife. She's in Denver. We found her. Good thing you gave me all that money. Then we go back to Claudette and Dutch, bring in the other brother, Armadillo. Or is it Armadillo? Not Armadillo. Armadillo. I'm going to say Armadillo.
I like Armadillo better.
I think Dutch was like, I'm going to call you by your regular name, because I don't want to call you Armadillo. So they bring him in for questioning. They don't have enough to kind of keep him more than the 6 hours. This guy's read some law books, so he knows what's what. Their usual tricks aren't going to work on him. While he's left alone in the interrogation room, we find out later that he finds the brooch that the young girl Dutch was questioning earlier was on the floor in the interrogation room. So they see him kind of smiling after he gets let go, and they go back and look at the video and see that he found that. So they try to go and check on the girl, but it's too late. He already got to her, and she comes home, and they see that she has a dove tattoo on her face. So, yeah, bad guy.
Quick tattoo artist, I'll tell you.
Yep. We can only assume other things happen, but she definitely has a tattoo. And then the episode ends with Acevedo coming to visit Vic at his home. And Vic is eating one of the worst microwave meals I've ever seen in my life. But, when he's left to his own devices.
Dude, 2002 or 2003 was a wild time.
He tells Vic that they need to come to an understanding and team up in order to protect each other from this auditor. And Vic's pretty much like, how do I know I can trust you? And Acevedo's like, how do I know I can trust you? So that's kind of, they've come to their understanding.
Well,
and that's this episode.
Truthfully, You can trust. He could trust Vic more than he could trust Aceveda. Aceveda was trying to get them all last season. Vic was just trying to survive. So you were barking up the wrong tree last time. So I'm on Team Vic on this one. But what a fucking bullshit. Oh, look at how quick Aceveda just rolls over and lets him pats his belly. Because all of a sudden he's like, oh, look, somebody's coming after me. You didn't want Vic's help when the girl was accusing you of rape last season? Like,
Well,
this
it
is
just
why.
goes to shows that Aceveda kind of really more is apparently when push comes to shove, he's going to prioritize his political career over his morals. So that's kind of yeah. Sounds like a character out of The Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good set back up episode from season 2.
Yeah.
Another brutal, just when they do like the off the Vic like main storyline and just like crimes, it's always the most fucking extreme, just most brutal. Like, oh, this just like I'm swear someone's gonna have a nuclear warhead by season 5. Like, and they're only gonna explode children. Like, we had sex traffic, we had this. Now we start the episode with people with tires around them and they're just burning and screaming. I'm just like, what the fuck? So yeah, well, I don't know where we're gonna go, but this part of I would move so fast. So there's not a chance I would live in this area. Like, this is similar to like the Gaza Strip or whatever. There's just war everywhere. It's wild.
Oh yeah.
Like, how does he even this tiny police station is in charge of all this shit? Like, goddamn! Like, everything is terrible. Like, in this place, like there's no traffic stops. There's no like, oh DWI. These motherfuckers are burning people and raping and tattooing each other. Wild. Oh, and by the way, 2 blocks down there used to be a teenage sex movie shop that used to exist like this, and before that the main guy, a part of the police, was with a Hispanic woman that was buying up criminal things and pulling cops out of it just to have it, and he killed a gang member. This is just in this small little district.
And we're just getting started.
Love it.
I'll say real quick, I never more I wish to just see a dead kid at the end of an episode, because what we got was way worse. Like, I think I remember first watching it, not understanding what happened. Yeah. And then like watching it again, it just made me want to throw up. Yeah, stupid. Also, I'm kind of siding with Shane here a little bit, because I'm starting to feel with Shane here, because I feel like Shane is following Vic's lead. And Vic just gets pissed off more and more at him every time. Like, Shane just wants to do something different. Like, I mean, he's like, yeah, we're totally drug dealers at this point. Like, we're giving this guy leads. Like, that's what we're doing here now. I just want us to make some money. Why are you so pissed off, Vic?
See, we can talk about that again in the 3rd episode. We're talking about how you learn from people and then you build upon it and add your own spin onto things.
Exactly.
I learned how to. I think it's next episode. I learned how to use a book in interesting ways, and a stove.
Speaking of, let's hop into episode 2, Dead Soldiers.
What does that mean?
So the strike team raids a gang hangout, and they're just tattooing people like right there in the backyard, which can't be sanitary, but hey. Vic leaves
early
them.
2000s.
He leaves them with a picture of Navarro locked up to give to Armadillo, as well as a strike team card. Vic and Shane then later arrive on the scene to where Tio's shop has been burned down. Aceveda and Claudette are also on the scene, and she shows Vic that the arsonist left a dead pig with the strike team card nailed to its head. Aceveda tells them they can just work the case together. The strike team shows up at Armadillo's house, and Vic tells him he needs to go back to Mexico. And when he says no, Vic just finds some reason to kind of just like arrest him and bring him in. Aceveda asks Dutch to take Laney, who is the auditor, with him to investigate the shooting of a city official. When they get there,
high ranking.
Yeah, high-ranking city official.
Yes.
Because she wants to go with
And
Vic, but he's
casually,
like,
he knows about it, and she didn't find out anything, which was really weird. But whatever.
But then we get there, we find out that the high-ranking city official was a meter maid. So Dutch,
That's why she didn't know.
after he gets done trying to talk himself out of some parking tickets, he's able to, and she just happens to walk out of the bathroom right when he's just trying to talk himself out of parking tickets, which probably looks great for him. But yeah, so Dutch, he goes through and questions a few suspects that the meter maid gave a lot of tickets to, and he gets them to take gunfire residue tests. And he finds this guy pretty quick because he tests positive. So this was a quick case to solve. And he asked the guy, I was like, I mean, you knew you did it. Why did you go for the test? He was like, well, I mean, it's a government test. How accurate could it have been? Yeah, so he gets that one. Dutch is able to solve that case pretty quick. That and I kind of grouped all his scenes into one thing. I did the same thing here for Danny and Julian. They had themselves quite the episode. They respond to a woman who called about her neighbor being a potential terrorist because she smelled some smells coming from his home. They're able to intimidate the man into letting them search his home.
Hold on. Hold on. If this isn't the most early 2000s shit I've ever seen, like
this is like 9/11 happened a year ago.
This is racism on an all-time 9/11 moment. Like, good lord. And how just extreme both of these parties are. When you ever get to it, it's crazy. They just continue to just escalate. Why are the cops there every time? Like, they show, it's wild.
I mean, you call the cops when you have problems. But yeah, like I said, they search his house. They don't find anything. I guess they're like pickling fish or something, and that's what's causing the smell. So they get out of there. They end up being called back again later when her dog destroys his prayer rug. And Julian he's fed up with it at this point. He just kind of yells at both of them and says that they need to knock it off. And then later in the episode, they get called back again when the two neighbors are outside arguing about the American flag that she has hanging out, and it's partially over his window. So they begin spewing racist insults at each other. She goes and grabs a kitchen knife. Julian is able to restrain her. He gets her down on the ground. And then the man comes out. He's got a gun, and he's just waving it all around, telling Danny that he's innocent, but he gets no protection from the police. This is some bullshit. And then Danny shoots and kills him because he's waving the gun around and pointing it at her.
Not waving, he's pointing it straight at her chest. I would fire 45 bullets into him. What are we doing? This is the most wild thing. The cops are present. They know the cops are present. She comes out with a butcher knife and was like, hey, whatever. And he's like, rock, paper, scissors, bring out a fucking revolver.
she brought a knife to a gunfight, but the cops also have guns.
It's a shock that anybody got shot at the end of this. Duh. Wild. I was just like, this is like a bad, a non-funny Mad TV sketch from the early 2000s. Like, this is what this is. Like, oh, he's a culture that I don't respect and I don't like. I'm gonna throw insults at him. I got a knife. I got a gun. Cop shoots one of them. Wild.
And it's telling which one gets shot. And I think Aceveda even said that had it been the other way around, that it might have been worse off. But who knows? But then, like I said, we kind of got those side stories out of the way. So we go back to Vic and Shane. They're able to track down Tio. He tells them that there was a safe in the building that has a ledger. And in the ledger, Vic has kind of mentioned indirectly, it's a code. They have him down as the landlord, all the payments that have been going to him. So Vic's right about that. He goes, Claudette already has the safe, though, because Claudette's Claudette. She's always one step ahead. Vic is able to get a locksmith friend that he knows to come and open the safe, hoping that he can trigger it, the self-destruct that the safe has there. But of course, Claudette has already done her homework on the safe, and she knows that, hey, you can't go through the front, you got to go through the back. So they get it open, and Claudette gets to go through the ledger a little bit. They then go to Tio to question him. Vic tells her, like, hey, let me go in and talk to him first, make sure everything's cool. So he's able to kind of coach him a little bit on what he needs to say, and kind of gives him some information so he can identify the suspected arsonist. So then we get Claudette is kind of putting the pressure on Tio, questioning him, while Vic and Aceveda are kind of watching on in the monitor, getting a little bit nervous because it seems like she's getting close to getting some information. They catch the arsonist in the nick of time. The other members of the strike team bring him in, and they're able to pull Claudette away from Tio to interview him. When she discovers that he has a head full of hair, even though Tio identified him as a bald man based on the pictures that Vic showed him, which are older pictures. Aceveda starts getting a little nervous. He pulls Claudette from the interrogation room and tells her to go investigate another fire that just happened. And this gives opportunity for Vic to get Tio out of the barn. So pretty much these two episodes, if Aceveda was not helping Vic and the strike team would not have survived these episodes.
Gone.
So now Claudette is a little bit suspicious of both Vic and Aceveda. Meanwhile, our Armadillo is released because they can't pin the arson to him. He had a couple of his guys take the fall and going into the prison to kind of scope out the prison and stuff. Tio is angry. He tells Vic and Shane that 3 of his dealers have gone missing, and he suspects Armadillo is the person who took them. Meanwhile, the private detective tells Vic that his wife has flown back into town, and she is currently in another private detective's office. So they go over there and find out that she hired a private investigator to kind of look into Vic a little bit. And she's kind of scared of some of the things that he's found on Vic. And it's a big guy. I guess it was like a former football player or something. He's able to kind of ragdoll Vic around, throw some in the trash.
I'm pretty sure I saw this man lift cars on the World's Strongest Man back in 2002. This man made Vic look like a child.
Oh, yeah. Which Vic's not the biggest guy to begin with, at least not height-wise. But he usually looks big next to somebody. No. Yeah, this guy, it was like the mountain fighting Tyrion or something.
Also, this shit came, like, they don't do a very good job of setting the family dynamics are in peril very well.
Yeah.
Because it went from Gilroy showing up to I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, because he pulled her out of there, and she just wanted Vic to like tell her something, but he was like, no, you just got to go there. That was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and she got.
But they did a bad job selling that they had marital problems.
Well, I mean, other than the whole thing about her saying she needs help and he brings home a baby.
I was about to say, he brought home a crack baby out of nowhere. Like,
you know what? I'm comparing this with another show that their family dynamics are like very well established on why everybody's having family problems. Both shows, Mad Men and Sopranos. This one seems... But the crack baby doesn't.
She had a few straws that broke the camel's back.
I get a little. Well,
so slight escalation
crack
on the crack baby,
or Don bringing home the dog.
After he disappeared for like a whole day during the birthday party.
My hands are going numb again. I brought you a golden retriever.
Later, as we get through the seasons, we'll probably have to have a debate as who's the better father between Don and Vic.
Oh, let me tell you,
Tony,
after
all three of them, see who's the best father.
These next 4 episodes for Don, he is going very high up. Great father. We'll talk about it, but great father.
But yeah, so yeah, we get all that. And all of a sudden, Vic gets a phone call from Tio. He calls screaming. And Vic rushes over and finds a crime scene where Tio was burned alive in the same method that everyone else is getting burned alive.
He gets a phone call right before he dies.
Yeah. He calls Vic screaming, so it's pretty much right before he get let up, I'm sure. So, yeah. So the strike team goes to Armadillo's house, and Vic tells him again, it's time to leave. When he refuses, and Vic decides to beat his ass with a law book, and he beats him plenty good. And it's not enough, so he drags him into the kitchen. It's like, you ready to go yet? No. As he's spitting up blood and stuff. So he picks him up and puts his face right there on the stove burner. Holds it down there for a good little bit of time, too. Still not enough. He does it twice.
Let me tell you, two of the most useless humans that have ever existed are Shane and what's the other dickhead?
I think it was with Shane and Lem, yeah.
They just stand around with their dick in their hands. He is taking the Holy Bible or whatever, the almanac of the World Encyclopedia of the A's, and beating the fuck out of this guy.
Oh, yeah.
It is the biggest book one of the biggest books I've ever seen. He is beating him. And Shane, Vic, stop.
Come on.
Do you want to get in between Vic and that guy when he's like that?
Yes! You're two people! And then this man has enough energy to drag him to the kitchen, turn that fucking coil heater onto fucking high. That motherfucker's so red, which I burned my hand on that. So that gave me PTSD when I was a child. Because I definitely put my hand straight in the middle of those coils before. And picks him up and just puts him there, and then proceeds to put his face again there. And Shane and no, stop.
But then they do finally pull him away. So
I will say, not say like I'm a defender of police brutality or anything, but the man is a possible murderer and definitely
he's a definite
rapist.
murderer and definitely a child
Definitely
raper.
like not a great guy.
Yes, but your wife leaves you.
Shane's motivation of maybe
it was bad. It was unlucky timing for this guy because
your wife leaves you, and your first thing is when there's an investigator at your thing, beat the living fuck out of the guy. And what's he gonna like? Oh, he got into a fight. That's one thing. Oh, how'd you get coil burns on your face?
I mean, honestly, they should have just killed this guy.
That's what I'm saying. And then Vic's like covered in blood, and then walks outside and goes, hey,
like,
buddy,
I might have gone too far there.
Wonders where's the blood from, buddy? You just beat him with the encyclopedia.
Oh yeah.
Gosh. I'm telling you, Shane and them are fucking useless. They go to Mexico, they get robbed within a second. Oh, fucking useless.
I mean, Vic kind of set them up. He's like, he just dropped them off, like, go get guns.
Instead, here's I don't have a wallet.
Yeah, so that's the end of episode 2.
Oh, you didn't bring up Vic fumbling about the washing machine trying to.
Oh no, that's in the next episode. Yeah.
Oh, that's the next episode.
Yeah, that's the next episode.
No, way to fucking go.
All right, so I guess we can move on to episode 3, Partners.
Oh yeah.
Which opens up kind of. They actually kind of recap and get to show the assault all over again. And Vic getting pulled out, all covered in blood. Vic goes back to his house. And we've seen Vic struggle with some stuff in this show. But we have never seen him struggle as much as he struggled to try to do the laundry and try to wash the blood off of his clothes.
Tell me he never did that ever in his life.
How much is enough? Let's put 3 scoops in. That should...
Yeah. Three scoops for 1 t-shirt. That ought to do it.
That thing is bubbling. The fumes out of that fucking washing machine are high.
Oh yeah, so it's cutting back and forth between that and a couple other things, but then this montage kind of ends with a man walking into the barn and placing a woman's severed arm right on Dutch's desk. To which Dutch says, "That's an arm." Can't get nothing by Dutch.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Okay, so Dutch has picked him up a case, so he's investigating this case with the mindset that she might still be alive. He has to fight with the people to get them to run the fingerprints. And he does find out that the arm belongs to a woman named Kayla. He's able to go and interview her roommate, who doesn't really provide a lot of information, but she is curious to find her quick because rent's coming up due. Dutch goes door to door near her apartment, asking if anyone's seen anything. He gets to the Lindolf's apartment, and they say that they saw Kayla arguing with a man, and they agreed that they will come down to the station with Dutch for some questioning. So as the husband, Mr. Bob, goes there to grab his coat, we see that he has Kayla tied up in their bathroom. So, yeah. Over there, Claudette tells Vic that she went to Armadillo's house to ask about Tio's death, but he wasn't there. There were, however, signs of a vicious assault. Vic says that he was with Vic says he was with the strike team all night, which Claudette later says she talked to Shane, and Shane said that you were not with them for an hour. So Vic said, "Oh yeah, I was with this detective guy," and kind of just like brushes her off. He yells at Shane a little bit too for that. The private detective helps Vic track down his wife. He tries to talk her into coming home, and he even says he'll move out if she wants him to. But she says she just needs some time to think about everything. Then we have Vic's former mentor, Joe Clark, played by Carl Weathers. He turns up to meet Vic for a lunch. Shane explains to Danny that Joe was fired after he brutalized a man who tried to punch his former partner. And like I said earlier, like this is kind of you get to kind of see in this episode, kind of Joe is kind of the person that Vic learned a lot of his stuff from, and then he built upon that with his own stuff, kind of similar to what Shane's doing now. At the lunch, Vic tells Joe that he's thinking of retiring, and Joe tells him that he shouldn't be doing that. They just kind of talk about stuff like complaining that in this job, if you go too far, you'll end up getting fired, but if you don't go far enough, you end up getting killed. And then I think Joe asked him, we mostly did we did more good than bad, right? So that's kind of just sums up their relationship there. After lunch, Joe asks Vic to go somewhere with him. Joe has Vic drive him to Fleetwood Walker's house, the man who he beat up, and he got like a little bit more than $1 million from the city in a lawsuit. Walker mocks them, and Vic tells Joe that he'll help him out with it. Claudia is still looking into Vic and Tio's relationship with the help of the Ledger. She tells Aceveda she wants to dig more into Vic, but she needs his approval. He tells her that he'll think about it. In the meanwhile, she goes to help Dutch. Claudia informs him that she ran a background check on Kayla's neighbors, finding that Bob had an attempted kidnapping charge. So they're going to go and try to bring them back. We cut to the couple is finishing loading up Kayla into the trunk of their vehicle when Dutch shows up and kind of asks them to come back to the barn and identify a suspect. Dutch and Claudette spend some time questioning Bob and then his wife. Dutch gets a little aggressive when questioning her, but she doesn't break. So he ends up believing her, and it's like, you know, she I believe her. They're good. We'll just let them go. Meanwhile, Aceveda tells Vic about Claudette wanting to run his financial records, and Vic tells him that's not a problem. She can do that. Vic and Shane get in a little fight about maybe some of the Shane's poor performance, and Vic kind of being a lousy leader right now. Shane threatens to transfer. Vic's pretty much okay with that, but Joe breaks it up, and then Vic leaves with him. We cut to Vic and Joe intimidating one of Walker's contacts, and one of my favorite part of the show where they come into this guy he's selling clothes out of the van, and they breaks it up, but Vic's like, "No, girl, you got to take that shirt. That's perfect for you." They intimidate the guy into signing a confession to kind of try to set up Walker. Vic visits Joe's rundown apartment, and we find out that kind of Joe's life has gone downhill since getting fired. His family pretty much left him on all that stuff. He's not living a great life right now. He tells Joe that Fleetwood has a warehouse of stolen goods, and they are going to go arrest him and sell half the goods to get some money for Joe, kind of make up for all this stuff. Corrine calls Vic and tells him that she and the kids are now home. But Vic's got some business to take care of, so he can't deal with that right now. So Vic goes with Joe to arrest Walker and his guys, but they end up getting in a gunfight, and Vic gets shot in the stomach as Walker is able to run away. He does get the shooter, though, and he tells Joe that you got to get out of here, call an ambulance. I can't explain why you're here. The shooter reaches for his gun but dies before he can get to it. The strike team gets there as Vic is being loaded into the ambulance. He tells them it was Walker and they need to get to Walker before Joe does. Aceveda and Vic's family show up to the hospital and check in on him. And Vic's playing it off as a tough guy because he doesn't want to show the kids to freak out. But so that was a fun scene. The strike team break into Walker's house and they find his girlfriend there packing up a suitcase. When she resists questioning, Shane, the cop that he is, he herds Lem and Ronnie out of the room, and he threatens to rape her to get the information that he needs. But
this town, I swear to God.
But hey, it works because she tells him that Walker is at his stash house.
Stalker.
Joe finds Walker loading up the goods, and they get in a fight. The strike team shows up in time to save Joe and arrest Walker. And then over on the other side of the town, while searching the Lindolf's apartment, Julian finds a hole in their bathroom wall that looks right into Kayla's. Dutch then orders an APB to be put out for their car. Meanwhile, Joe visits Vic in the hospital and apologizes for getting him involved in all that. But Vic tells him it was the right thing to do. Joe tells Shane that he should go talk to Vic. He does. They kind of make up. Dutch and Claudette show up at the gas station where the Lindolfs are being detained, and they find Kayla dead in the truck. So Dutch really fucked this one up. And that's the end of this episode.
Shout out Carl Weathers. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Great
performance.
Hey, we're back home. Instantly gets shot. Just saying. Like, that couldn't have been a worse, like, 3.5.
Yeah, these all episodes are all a bunch of bad timing.
Oh, great. Again, this is why I think I don't understand why this show's not mentioned. I mean, it could fall off. Matt could just be a total fucking liar and be like Mike with Odd and be like, it's a damn good show all the way through, even though it's not. So maybe Matt's a liar, but I've enjoyed.
We'll find out.
I've enjoyed the hell out of this. The only thing I don't enjoy is this the worst fucking theme song in any show.
It's ever. Like a 4-second theme song.
It's so loud. If anything's taught me this year, I don't like music that annoys the piss out of me. It doesn't matter how long it is.
You don't like just a blank stare into a camera into the what?
I'm like every time I'm just like stop.
Oh man.
Great episode there. Great 3 episodes, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely in fun territory here. Can't we'll say that much.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think? Did you like it, Mark?
Yeah, like it's 100% wacky, but you know what? I can get behind that.
Yeah.
And yeah, why is everybody so mean to Dutch? I will say that. Like, what's? It just feels like every time somebody just gets a motherfuckering, like it's Dutch who gets like the end of it, and it's all usually in front of everybody. Like he's out in just doing his job, and then like everybody just like just kicks Dutch in the dick. Like what's up with that?
Well, it's similar to a character that you keep trying to defend on your show. That Even when they try to make us, even when they try to make us sympathetic.
Let's not compare them.
Even though, yeah, true. But
the
even
Dutch
though
had
they,
a bad week, but he's no Pete.
even when they try to make us care for him or feel bad for him, we still don't fucking care. And I asked you that question again just so I can get the color ready. It's called a distraction. Now you can start your Madden.
Well, definitely going to get into some interesting discussion there. Start out with the season 2 premiere, Mad Men. For those who think young. Yeah, for those who think young. Starting out, can't really tell how much time has passed. Just know that some time has passed. I think like 2-3 months. You know, it is about 2-3 months because we're getting around Valentine's Day. The end was around Thanksgiving, so like just a few months had passed. Seeing everybody just get ready for their
robbed
job.
us of a Christmas episode.
Which not to date this episode. Very timely. Very timely for when we're recording this right now.
Yeah, then we Don is going to the doctor for some like insurance thing, and he does what I mean. That if there's any moment that makes Don feel like everybody, it's when he goes to the doctor because he just lies his ass off. It's like, hey, like how much do you drink? I don't know, like 3 beers, like max. I don't know. That's a big day. He's like, come on, man, just tell me what we're doing. Like like you're 35, you gotta take this serious. So like he's over there, and Betty finally gets herself a hobby. She picks up horse riding, getting out of the house. Like good for Betty. I think we're all
Wasn't
happy.
this the girl that was like having problems with her hands last season? Now she's riding horses.
Matt, January Jones does nothing wrong.
Listen, she's getting out of the house and she's talking to people.
And she stopped talking to little children.
Yeah, well, he moved away. Like, and the mom was like, "Hey, if you come by my house again, like, yeah, there are going to be issues." Yeah, of course. There's rumors all starting to go around the office about Peggy's sudden weight loss. So, like, hey, she lost a bunch of weight, and now she's back. She also went away for like a month or two. Like, what is that all about? Like, she have baby fat farm. Like, we don't really know.
What do you
Also,
mean you don't fucking know? Have you ever seen a pregnant woman before?
I mean,
how is this
if
a
you would have asked
mystery?
me, I wouldn't have thought she was pregnant. So
No, maybe not by the show standards, but we all like if we're in a place and a woman is pregnant, like that you never. That's why like the common myth, like you never go up to an. And when are you expecting? Like whoever uttered that to not, like clearly not pregnant woman is the dumbest human ever. Because a belly of a pregnant woman doesn't look the same as like a fat person. Let's just be real. So I'm like, oh, Peggy lost. Yeah, she got knocked up. All right, literally.
Oh. Yeah. Well, we also find out that Joan seems to be seeing somebody. Roger talks to her about it. He seems to be a little off kilter about it. Duck is worried about Martinson's coffee. He's a little bit worried that they don't have a ton of young people on the staff. They need some new young copywriters, and like Rogers, like I mean, he said that to Don. Like, why don't you talk to Don about it? And he's like, I don't like talking to Don because he doesn't like me very much. Like, well, I don't know. You call you Duck, so that may have something to do with it. Don gives his team a new direction for Mohawk Airlines after he's really late to a meeting. Like I think he showed up at this noon board meeting at like 3 o'clock or something. all the ice and the thing was melted. This this plate of sandwiches that everybody was scared to death to touch. Like everybody's like, yeah, we're not. Like I don't care how hungry we are. We're just gonna wait for Don to get here. Roger then tells Don that Bert wanted some younger people of the team, but like Don knows better. Like he knows that Duck asked him. He's like, yeah, you're not gonna get this bullshit past me. And Roger's like, listen, just throw him a bone. Just like give some interviews to like some young people, okay? Like this, we'll see where this goes. Dawn meets Betty in the city for Valentine's Day. They seem to have a nice evening. They see one of her friends out, who she thought, hey, like looks like you got married to this older gentleman or whatever. Dawn has to break the news to her. Yeah, Yeah, we got ourselves like a call girl situation here. Like they weren't married. It's not a chance. Uh, they end up getting a room, and I don't know what's wrong with my boy Don. Like he just he didn't show up this Valentine's Day. Like uh like old Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs this Super Bowl. Like just didn't show up.
Buddy, which I don't understand. January Jones, buddy. Just look at her face. You'll be mine. I promise you.
Pete's wife is also upset that Harry's wife is pregnant. They've been trying to get pregnant for a while, and like Pete's just trying to console her about it. Like it's all right, happen at some point. We then see others around the office enjoying their Valentine's Day. Everybody's out doing their things. Forget who it was. I think Joan was one of them. Whatever. Don does visit with some younger talent. He got Kinsey to get some names, and then Kinsey was then shocked to realize that all these guys like are getting meetings and interviewing. It's like, what the fuck? Like, are they trying to replace me or some shit? Don then gets chippy with Duck after making him go after the younger talent. He does meet with a couple guys, Kurt and Smitty. Who, they can become regulars around the office. Don and Peggy also have like this bit of a weird moment talking about an ad of Mohawk Airlines. It's weird. Like we went from like mentor-mentee relationship to like this weird like sex talk thing. Like didn't know it wasn't a fan of where this was going, especially with Salvatore in the room. I don't know what was going on.
Wasn't it sex sells? And he's like, if that's the case, then anybody can do what we do. Blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up, Don. Put some titties on the poster. It was a weird conversation.
Oh yeah, there was also a bit where there was a copy machine in the office, and they didn't know where to put it. And I guess because
most inconvenient place to put that thing I have ever seen. It is massive, and it takes up 3/4 of the hallway.
And I guess after Peggy had made Don's secretary cry, Joan then does a retaliation. I guess of putting the copy machine in Peggy's office. She's got to deal with that.
What's that when they're all copying shit on it?
Betty's car breaks down. She flirts with the repair guy to lower the price on it.
I thought she was about to fuck the mechanic. I thought this was a porno setup.
I mean, he probably thought so too.
$9 for back then and settle for $3 is all wild. Start a minute.
Yeah, he settled for a tease. Like I don't know what was going on. I don't know. Maybe he thinks she'll look up the address afterwards. Oh yeah, and then there was a book that was mentioned several times in the episode, and then we see Don read it. He finished it, and he sent it out to somebody. We don't know who he sent it out to. Maybe something that could come back later. And that was the end of For Those Who Think Young. Very much a premiere episode. Very much just kind of rolling things along.
Get you back in the swing of things. I did notice though that you missed I thought a pivotal moment here. Pete, being the loving, caring husband that he is, he got Trudy a nice thing of chocolates for Valentine's Day, and then proceeded to pretty much eat all the chocolates himself.
Well, he's caring. Like he doesn't want like his wife to gain so much weight from just eating all the chocolates. Like he's taking the chocolate bullet, so to speak.
Yeah, it's crazy that you just gloss over a Pete shortcoming, but yeah, it was definitely not one of my favorite episodes. But it was definitely get back into the swing. Yeah.
So do Roger and Don like have the same job now that Roger's back, or is Roger just like?
I don't. It was a thing I was thinking about, like, kind of before we got on here, and I will say, like, it is kind of fun. Like, not to say like Roger just does nothing in the office for a while. But it was kind of neat going back watching season 1 and really thinking, oh yeah, going back to a time where like Roger is actually important to the operation. Because like now we're in the time like, oh, Roger is just kind of around and like
now Roger's
he just
like,
kind of
my
hangs
name's on
out.
the wall.
Yeah. Like I have a heart attack. I had a heart attack and I don't really do much because everybody thinks I'm basically dead. But I'm still alive, so I'm gonna show up to work every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, definitely more stuff to talk about here in the second episode. Flight 1. Flight 1. You see, many people from the office end up at a party that I believe was hosted by Paul Kinsey. Like,
Yeah.
honestly wasn't entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
See everybody, hanging out, having a good time. Peggy is there hanging out with one of Paul's friends. She starts making out with him, then, talks bad about him and leaves him hanging. And then, of course, uh, Kinsey wanted to introduce his now girlfriend, the woman that he desperately, desperately wanted to be his girlfriend. And of course, Joan is kind of a bitch about it and says a lot of the wrong things that Kinsey will definitely not appreciate later on. Uh, as Roger and Don go back in the office on Monday, they find out that an American Airlines plane had gone down. Uh, Crashed. Nobody knows what happened. Everybody's kind of not sure what to think about it. Although, just kind of let some of the to kind of decompress. They all start making jokes about like what possible happened on the plane. Uh, no, not too long after that, Duck has a contact within American Airlines. He gets a call that they are uh, things are going a little nuts at American Airlines since plane went down. They kind of want a fresh new look for their company. They are thinking about maybe changing agencies to kind of give them a fresh start, so to speak. And then not too immediately after that, Pete then gets a call that his father was on that plane that went down and he's not sure really what to do about it. He goes over to Don and he tries to talk with him, like, "Hey, so weird thing. Like, I think my dad was on that plane. I don't like." He's like in this kind of like shock and like doesn't really know how to feel. Like
He
he's
went to
What
the
having
is
wrong
he?
person for advice on how to
What
feel.
is he? A fucking robot? Like, what do I do? I don't know. Don goes, go home to your family. Why? Would you do that? I don't even know his age. Is you sure it's your fucking father? Like, who cares if you're you don't care. Like, and guess what? I'm gonna help everybody else out right now. I'm gonna give a spoiler. Throughout the next 4 episodes, he still doesn't fucking care at all. Not one emotion at all.
well, he just doesn't know how to feel. Like he's in shock.
Jesus Christ, Mark. Get off your knees for old Pete. He sucks. They want us to
Yes.
care about him. I don't fucking care. Like, good your dad died, honestly. I don't like you.
Yeah. So Pete is definitely like in a bit of a weird spot, so to speak. Uh, and then Roger, Duck, Don, and Bert, they then have a meeting saying, hey, American Airlines starting to, they seem like they are open to some meetings, but they also want us to get rid of our conflict. We have Mohawk, and Don isn't super happy about that. He's like, listen, I got Mohawk's planes, didn't just fall out of the sky. So, I don't know what, where we're going changing airlines, and we just want some thing. So like Don doesn't want to change people. Pete's brother then learns that their father was essentially broke, and possibly in a lot of debt. So it's possible that their mother is going to be kind of in a bad spot, and they don't really want to break it to their mother that hey, dad took out loans or whatever, and like he owes a bunch of money, and like we're kind of all screwed. And me and my brother basically don't have an inheritance, so
Poor
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's important. I'm able to get some money for the job here. Peggy goes and meets with her family. Her sister makes her feel bad for not going to the church, and also kind of veiled jab of like the city of New York didn't think you were mentally fit, or whatever, take care of your kid, or just some things like we didn't really know about. And then when Peggy leaves, takes a look at her sister's children to kind of say like, "Hey" or "Goodbye," and we see a baby in the room that may or may not be her kid.
The
Uh,
suspense.
yeah. John and Betty then have a dinner party. They are just hanging out with their with Betty's good friend who lives across, and their husband. Uh, they have what seems to be whatever evening. They then fight about that guy cheating on her and like how he deserves more. And Don is like, listen, I don't want to argue about this. Like because frankly, like I don't really care that much. Like just like I don't have a dog in this fight, if so to speak. Pete and Trudy then talk about the last conversation he had with his dad, saying like, I don't know, we talked about whether or not breed of dogs or whatever, and
Mhm.
and Pete does learn that he was wrong about the breed of dog, and again, like he doesn't really know how to feel about.
Not good with
So
processing.
he's just he listen, he's just confused. Okay, he
Yeah.
doesn't know what to feel, and like I mean, he wasn't really all that broken up when we found out he learned he lost his inheritance. He is just like he really is just going through his own like robotic feelings right now. Uh, yeah, Kenzie goes up to Joan later in the office, says, "Hey, you're kind of an asshole about my girlfriend, and you kind of suck about it." And then Joan kind of dresses him down in the office, calls him a whole bunch of things that, hey, yeah, you're not. This isn't a super authentic of you. I think you're just a. I think you're also kind of a dick, basically. Uh, Duck asked Pete to help him bring him American Airlines of his story. He thinks that him coming along after Pete lost his dad in the flight would be a help. Uh, while that is going on, Roger tells Don that they're cutting Mohawk Airlines loose. Don is angry about it. He doesn't. He again voices his objections. But Roger is like, "Listen, this is where we're going. We can make more money going for American Airlines, so that's what we're going to do." Uh, After that meeting, Pete then comes in to talk to Don, wants to ask him his advice once again about what he should do about American Airlines, but he doesn't really get the point across because Don is upset about having to have this meeting with the Mohawk guy,
Mm.
and he kind of brushes him out of there. And so Pete leaves the office without like getting any sage advice from Don about this American Airlines situation. Uh, Pete. Oh no, wait, that was it. Yeah, and that's also yeah. I guess probably Kinsey. We didn't get confirmation on this, but I can't imagine anybody else doing it. Somebody put up Joan's license on the bulletin board, telling everybody that she's in her 30s, and everybody got a good laugh about that. Uh, Don then has his meeting with the head of Mohawk Airlines, who I guess had gotten wind of what the meeting was about. So and yeah, like like it's not like you think you're gonna get away with not saying it. So he puts him away gently. Pete does ultimately decide to meet with the American Airlines executive, and he helps Duck able to secure this meeting. He tells Pete tells the American Airlines guy that yeah, my father was on the plane, so like that's how like you're in good business because like I'm here and I'm willing to work with you guys. Uh, then Don is approached by a waitress after he's then kind of in his feelings about letting go of the Mohawk Airlines guy, and has a distinct opportunity to definitely sleep with this waitress, but he turns it down. All right, he thinks of his family and his kids. Like he makes a good guy decision here, and then we end off with Peggy at the church of her family. And while they're going to get communion, she's holding this baby that again may or may not be her kid, which I will just make this clear. I'm not being coy about that. We literally never find out. It's something we're I'm not even like this. I don't even think is that crucial of a spoiler. It's just literally never brought up again. So like we don't know if that's her kid or not. Like Matthew Weiner said, like he was intentionally ambiguous about that, and that is the end of Flight 1.
Didn't the sister like say something to the priest in like one of the next few episodes, like heavily implies?
She
But we'll,
heavily
we'll
implies
get to that.
she doesn't, but she doesn't say like it's like I don't know why we're
Yeah.
like why we're kind of playing like patty cake with this thing or not. Like just fucking say it's her kid.
But yeah, I mean, this was a pretty solid episode. I kind of like the struggle that Don was having with his loyalty to Mohawk, where everyone else was just like, "We need to go after American Airlines. They're the big deal and stuff." And I love that Pete was finally able to process his feelings for his father's death when it involved making profit from it. So I think that was a good showing for him.
Yeah, when I was away in Camdoff, I heard all the bullshit Mark was spewing about. Like, he's still processing. He's just trying to trigger me. Motherfucker, shut up. Like, I ain't trying to figure fucking anything. He fucking sucks. Arguably one of the worst characters I've ever seen. And, like, if he acted like a fucking human at all, if any of these fucking people acted like humans at all, like there's moments in these next few episodes, I'm like, good God, this is not how humans interact.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we weren't around in the '60s, so who knows?
No, there would be reports. This is not how you do this. Or if we have, we were not that far removed from cavemen. I promise you. But it was a good episode, Flight 1. But my God, he just doesn't even know how to prop. My father, I don't even know his age. Oh, we got into an argument and I was wrong. Shocker.
Like he had just talked to him and he thought his dad would be there, and like he's not. Or it is possible that he is still. It is
Go
possible
back
he
to
is
when
still...
he flipped over that couch cushion. That's what these moments are. Disgusting. He's a disgusting individual.
There's probably like a deleted scene where he told American Airlines, like, "I'll kill my mother on another airline's plane if that'll help you guys."
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible that whole time he was remembering when his dad would not give him money for the apartment. He was silently thinking, I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad he was on that flight. Like can't pop the champagne while it's gonna look bad, but like I'll do it silently in my mind. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on, and we got 4 episodes to get to, halfway there. Episode number 3, The Benefactor. We start out at a commercial shoot for Utz potato chips. I don't know how long that's not been a thing. I've never heard of it.
They didn't make it.
All right. Yeah, it's a comedian. Jimmy Barrett is doing the commercial, trying to make a funny thing. Of course, Freddie Rumson's there, kind of looking over the shoot. He's drunk as hell.
Wait,
and
you guys
Ken,
don't have Utz potato chips?
Oh,
Yeah, we have them in the stores around here. Maybe it's the East Coast thing.
Is it really a thing?
Yeah, I've seen them at the grocery stores.
I mean, I honestly can't tell if you're fucking with us or not.
No, Utz potato chips. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if they got like the nuts thing anymore, but yeah.
Well, like I don't. Who would put nuts in potato chips?
Oh, is it? How do you spell it?
UTZ.
Yeah,
I don't think they put nuts in it. But
no, it's 100% a thing.
Yeah.
Still active, running.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend them. Go with like the Ruffles and stuff.
I just assumed this is a potato chip that like went out of business like in the 70s. Like it didn't make it because like they got pushed out by Lay's.
Oh, it's definitely like the third or fourth tier of potato chips, but they're around. Yep.
Okay. Didn't
just blew Mark's mind.
I mean, I didn't mean to like sidetrack everything.
No,
okay.
Hey, this show's about learning.
But Yeah. So anyway, like the owners of Utz Potato Chips wanted to come see like their favorite comedian and work. And of course, Jimmy, being the comedian he is, notices that the woman uh, is a bit overweight, and he makes several jokes at her expense, calling her the
What was
Hindenburg.
the joke that he said? The Hindenburg and opens her mouth and
Like Pinocchio's whale or something like that.
the whale.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Legendary shit.
yeah, that was my favorite one too. Hey, open your mouth.
Pinocchio,
Scarecrow.
open your mouth and let you swallow it. Wild.
Yeah, yeah, they weren't too happy about that. They left in shock and awe. Um, we then go to Betty and her friend meet the fiance of the guy like who can't really ride very well in their riding group. They kind of go back and forth on that one. Harry mistakenly is given Kenny's paycheck, and curiosity got the better of him on that one. He's like, I got to figure out what Kenny makes, and sure enough, like he makes way more than he does. I think he was making 200 a week here, and I found that Kenny making 300 a week. He doesn't have a family. He tells his wife. Definitely, a bad call in that one. He goes to Salvatore to ask him for advice, and he's like, just do that one. Like, you shouldn't have told your fucking wife about it. I kind of don't. I kind of wish you didn't tell me. That's fucking stupid. I can't believe dumb Kenny's making more money than all of us. And that kind of sets Harry on a track to kind of figure out how he can kind of increase his company status.
Oh, his wife is fucking brutal too. Oh, I didn't know this was you winning the pity party. Fucking hell. Like she just like fucking punched him in the mouth. I love it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he cheated on her a couple months ago, so she's probably a little sore about that still.
She's still. Yeah, and then Kenny then tells Roger, Roger and Don about what Jimmy did. They're like, well, Don is like, I don't know if I knew what if I knew the Utz people were gonna go over there, I would have kept Jimmy away from that set. And then Kenny was like, what do you mean? I told your girl that that's what we're doing, and like you didn't do anything. Everybody just kind of looks at Don, and it's like Don is like, oh, I'll fix it. I'll handle everybody, and like we'll get this squared away.
Stop looking at me, questioning. I'll do it. Just done deal.
Can't a man go see a movie during his workday?
Can't see some like French fusion cinema bullshit. I'm just trying to stay on top of everything. Like I get my movie tickets comped because I can say it's for work, but what I do in my time is my time.
You should mind your fucking business.
Even though I'm on the clock's time, it's still my time.
I'm salary.
Of course, Don calls the secretary in his office immediately after that, and he says, "Hey, the fuck is this shit? I don't think you're good at this job at all. You gotta go."
Offense. No offense. You just keep saying. Actually, all the offense. Like
you might just need to go back to the switchboard. It's okay.
Yeah. He wasn't very cordial about it. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, you're drowning me here."
I try to cover for you. You don't cover for me. You
manage
expectations.
Manage expectations. Get the fuck back to the switchboards, bitch.
And so Joan is gonna fill in for his secretary's replacement, like until they find him a new one. Harry then calls a TV guy about a job. And he tells him, yeah, it's not looking good over here. I don't know if I can get some. I'm probably on my way out. And he tells him about this show that some Defenders show back in the 60s. They did an episode about a woman getting an abortion. They used the word abortion like 30 some odd times, like ridiculous, man. And Harry is like, let me see it. And he goes and watches it, tries to figure out, what he can do with this and whatnot. Don talks to Jimmy's manager / wife, Bobby Barrett, about his behavior, and seeing what they can do to kind of salvage this relationship with Utz, because Utz can easily get rid of him if they want to. And she's like, "Yeah, we'll see what we can do. By the way, I'm meeting Jimmy in this other spot. I'm supposed to get this to him." And Don's like, "Hey, I'll give you a lift." And they get in his car. It starts hailing. It's like, I guess we can't go anywhere now. Uh, Bobby Barrett then leans over and starts making out with Don, and Don is like, "Oh, what is this? I'm a married man." And he fends her off for about like the next half a second, and then they just
Suddenly,
start
Don gets his mojo back.
Oh, I don't want this. Clearly you do.
Rape, stop.
He just grabs his dick. Like, what is this? What in this world in the 50s you just get what you want?
I think my favorite is after he's done. Of course, the first thing he does in front of his wife and children, goes and washes his hand, and washes out his mouth.
If you walk in from anywhere and you just instantly go wash your hands, we all have questions about you, good sir. What the fuck you just do? Work on your car? Oh, and then spit something out. Like, excuse me? Which I don't know what she could even do. Like, at that point, like, they're all smoking cigarettes. Like, everybody is fucking. Everybody in that world smelled and tasted like tobacco.
That's not your brand of cigarettes I taste on your mouth.
Yeah, it's Jimmy's branded fucking cigarettes. Fucking wild time to live in, this fucking Neanderthals, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So, yeah, Don's still trying to fix this. He invites Jimmy and his wife with on a dinner with Betty and Mr. and Mrs. Utz to try to salvage everything. Kind of gets Betty on, and also like Betty is out. She is goes riding, and she talks with that fiance guy, and like she kind of gets upset with him, and they're trying to have like a cordial time at like the horse stalls. And yeah, he tries to make a move on her, and she knocks it down. I guess feeling I don't know, like it was.
Do you want to say what he says? Just don't fight it. What? Yeah, I'm gonna say she said no. Like, fucking.
I mean, it's the same thing the lady said to Don. we got both sides of it in this episode.
Fucking wild. They just don't care.
He thought she was just sad. Like, I think that was.
Oh yeah, you're beautifully.
You know what'll
sad.
cheer you up?
My tongue down your throat. Oh fuck, buddy. God, this show is fucking ridiculous. It's good, but it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, we also got Harry uses this episode to try to convince that lipstick company they represent to kind of buy ad time for this episode, because they think, well, it's controversial and like get people talking, like and probably more women would be watching this episode, and there'd be a great spot for your ads. And this guy's like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. They're talking about abortion and such, like probably not for us. Thanks for showing it to us, but like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. Of course, Roger and Bert did like the initiative that Harry took, a bit outside of the box thinking. It's like, hey, what do you think your reward should be? He's like, well, like I think I should be the head of television. Every ad company has a television department. I think I should run it. And Roger is like, all right, there you go. Television department now made up of
one
you.
of one. One of one. Good luck.
He's like, well, I also think I should get a pay bump. And then Roger's like, oh, fuck pay bump. Like, what's wrong if you're making now?
I just gave you a title. What do you want a pay bump for?
Yeah, he's able to negotiate craftily, I might add, a $25 pay bump. So he's now making a $225 a week. So he's got that going for him. Yeah, and then we get to this dinner with Jimmy and the people from Utz, and the Mr. and Mrs. Utz, like they're really not having this that much. They're like, we don't like we kind of want to get the fuck out of here. You know, he called me the fucking Hindenburg last time we were here. Like I'm just not like I'm not for that. And then Bobby Barrett excuses herself. She goes to the bathroom, and Don's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with her." He's like, "Hey, you gotta get your guy to to apologize here. Yeah, they're being polite here. They're just kind of sticking around." And she's like, "Well, I think we can get more out of this, and you can't make me such and such." And then Don just goes for. I mean, calling it like a brazen negotiation tactic, definitely a bit underselling it, but uh just kind of grabs underneath her dress and says, "Yeah, like you're gonna do what I say." And then
I wondered how you were going to pitch this one. Yeah, you did the best you could.
I don't know, like I can't. We're like I don't know what to do here. Okay, there's a lot of like mishaps in this episode. Okay, I gotta kind of talk around all of them.
I was just like,
he
dear
tripped and
God.
slipped.
I was like, where is like no one's walking into this place. He just got her like, and he didn't do it like fast, or he just went and then like in slow progression. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
And
like
apparently that was all it needed because she, you know what? You make a convincing argument.
I will say, like,
that's
I
how you
think
work a
there's
puppet.
Jesus Christ, Matt. Technical foul. Technical foul on Matt. That's your first one. If we did suspensions, you might get one for that.
I will say, like, after this week, I think the nomination for Bad Guy of the Week is like very, very easy. And I think it's in Cody's show. It's 100% in Cody's show. Although I think Don is really making his case here for Bad Guy of the Week. It doesn't get a lot of wiggle room.
I was like, what happened? Who does something that bad in my show? But then I'm like, oh.
I mean, Shane used rape as an interrogation method in my show, so
yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk as you think it is. And not to mention, Shane also got questioned in the back of the like, go get some date rape. You know what they are.
Well. Anyway, like just to cap off, like they apologize. Everything seems to be good, and that thing is saved. And Don and Betty have a weirdly, like, I guess, nice moment in the car. I don't know. She starts crying and then hugs him on the car right back, and that kind of
we make a
ends off the
great
episode.
team, even though he didn't know he did the 5-finger slip.
This is what I want. I just want to come out. You missed the great line though. Is like when he's apologizing to the lady, and she's like, it's okay. I guess I just don't have the stomach for it. And he's gonna bite his hand.
No, I think that's what got us in this situation. Hello. I know it's your brand of comedy. It's just not mine. It's not. I don't have the stomach. It was like a Don Rickles impression almost. It was like
yeah.
Anyway, fine episode. Definitely.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best. Oh, fucking weird, but it was a good episode.
Yeah, it was the best of these three so far.
Yeah, Matt's a creep though. Matt likes stuff.
I know how Don operates.
That might be a problem.
Why don't we just go ahead and finish this one off? 3 Sundays. Let's go into episode 4. Peggy is at church with her family, and she's kind of in the middle of taking off, and she runs into a visiting priest. I honestly never caught his name. I don't actually know. But he's played by Colin Hanks, so to speak. So he's able to convince her to go back and kind of sit there for the rest of the mass, and he ends up having dinner with Peggy's family. It's also kind of a funny moment in there where he just tries to tell like a casual grace over the meal, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cute, Father, but let's get the actual grace." Which, I'm Catholic. I didn't realize there was an actual prayer to say over the food. I thought you just like, "Hey, bless the food," and like let's eat this thing.
Yeah, it ain't my speed. I don't know.
Peggy then has to leave. Also, like as Colin Hanks has to leave, he drives her back to the train station to where she's gonna go, and he asks her for advice on a sermon he's giving because he finds out that she's does some ad work, and a lot of her job is creating presentations. Like, hey, just any advice about like this Palm Sunday sermon I'm going to give. I don't want to mess it up. And she gives him some stuff like, hey, like keep eye contact with somebody, be confident about what you're saying. Yeah, just kind of the normal stuff there.
I mean, I will give her
Breathe,
credit.
use your repeats. Like that stuff.
I was gonna say I'll give her credit. Flirting with a priest is a step up from Pete, so she's heading in the right direction. So
Correct. And he's guaranteed to not get her pregnant.
Then see Roger. He has a dinner with his daughter and her fiance, and he talks about her about not making wedding plans, and hey, you're upsetting your mother. Make some goddamn wedding plans. And then after enjoying a day together with Don and his family, just kind of hanging out. They're all on the bed, and like Bobby, their son, just starts jumping on the bed, and it breaks. And then Betty starts to get really annoyed, and is like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" It's like, "Well, like it's all right." And then she goes and makes the kids some grilled cheese. Although Betty's still kind of annoyed about the situation that Don didn't do anything to Bobby. Uh, then we go to the other Bobby, Bobby Barrett goes and sees Don in his office. She's like, "Hey, how about like a TV show idea for Jimmy? What if he does like a candid camera type thing, and we get like Utz to to sponsor it?" And Don is like, "Ah, I don't know if they'll go for that. We'll see what we can do." And then of course, Bobby's there is like, "Well, since I'm ready here, you want to do something?" And of course, Don just kind of goes for it. He's, he's he's back on his A game at this point.
He's
Well,
like, I don't
first
even
he
have to
doesn't.
leave
He's
the
like,
office.
he's like, I'm working. She's like, working. Yeah,
Well, like
right.
we know
And
we
then,
know what that means. Like, hey, just keep going. Like I'll probably say yes.
Jesus Christ, he's such a
Don just
whore.
like to play hard to get. That's all.
Yeah. Then
Not that hard to get. I promise.
yeah, Don gets home, and Betty tells him that Bobby broke the record player. It's gonna cost $18 and such. And Don is like, "All right, let me go deal with this." And it's like, "All right, your mother tells me you broke the record player. I believe it. So you got anything to say for yourself?" And he's like, "I'm sorry. I feel bad about it." And Don is
Don't
like, "All
do it
right,
again.
good enough for me." He goes down. Of course, Betty is frustrated. Is like, "What the fuck? Like, I told him to wait for his dad to get home. Like, that's all he gets. Like, he got like he needs a spanking." And like Don is like, "Yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, I need a drink." And like that kind of finishes that conversation there. When making breakfast, Don is making some pancakes. In the middle of that, he gets a call from Duck saying, "Hey, American Airlines moved up their meeting. Uh, no, it's Sunday, but we got to get everybody in here and kind of iron out our strategy so that we're ready for the meeting." And then as he gets off the phone, Bobby puts his face on the stove and burns it. Betty is then even more annoyed at Bobby for being, I guess putting his face on a stove. It's like, yeah, he's got to go to the emergency room. And Don's like, "Well, I got to go to the office. So I don't know what we're gonna do with Sally." It's like, well, like I mean, you can leave him with your friend or whatever. And it's like it's Palm Sunday. I'm not doing that to her. It's like, all right, fine. I'll take Sally with me to the office. So he brings Sally to the office. They're working on their American Airlines presentation. They're saying everything they got to do, and Don's trying to get creative in line, and there's also like a weird bit where Roger runs into like a call girl where they're like with a client. Then Roger ends up meeting up with that call girl, and like he goes out on a date with her. Like he's trying to find like romance like in weird places at this point. Like
He's trying to find another heart attack. Is what he's trying to find.
Yeah. Because what he finds her in dinner with that other guy, and they're like, "Oh,
and
how long
she's
you guys been
pretending to be the
married?
wife.
5 years?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "Fucking no, this isn't
Hey,
true."
she's good at her job. Roger believed it.
fucking then go to Kenny, that fucking creep. Yeah, I got her number. I got lots of numbers. Yeah. And of course, Sally's at the office, and like she's bugging all the people around the office. Like bugging Kenzie, and Kenzie is like, "Hey, like, listen, your dad, he's gonna really be on my ass if I don't get my work done." Then
Does she lay on? Do you lay on? You know what? Yeah. Do you lay on top of her? Legendary.
and then of course everybody's eating. They're kind of getting their presentation done. Then Don comes out and then makes this proclamation of like, you know what, whatever we got, throw it out. We're starting fresh. We gotta think about
Awesome, Don. Awesome.
we gotta think about the future here. Let's pretend like we know what 1963 looks like. And of course everybody gets annoyed and is like, well, what the fuck? And then Pete's there is like, well, if I can't mention the crash, what good am I to this whole operation?
If I can't leverage my father's death, what good am I?
So yeah,
Don't
like
worry, you can turn around at some point.
so yeah, Sally then hears that she's walking around. She finds like this like glass of liquor just kind of sitting around. Then of course at the end of the day after Dawn's working, finds her just sleeping on a couch, and of course she's clutching to what seems to be an empty glass of liquor. So
It wasn't that full.
well, it was enough to knock her out.
Yeah, just
Now
some
she
tweaking.
may have a wee hangover the next day. We don't know. Sterling Cooper is, of course, ready for their American Airlines presentation. They got all their boards set up and such. They got all the booklets for their guys, and we see that Duck walks in the office, and we get that shot of all of them standing in a row, ready to pitch their ass off. And then Duck is like, "Hey, my guy who was the in for us, he just got fired this morning." And they're like, "Oh," it's like, "What does that mean?" It means we're done. Like they're not going to go for us. They're going to show up to this meeting because they have to. They said they're going to do it out of respect. Of course, the meeting
We
goes
have to
okay.
deliver a stillborn baby. That's basically that's crazy. What a crazy line.
Yeah. Yeah. Afterwards, the meeting seems to go okay, but Don is still pretty pissed about the whole thing of doing this whole thing and then dumping Mohawk, and he's like, yeah, this Duck guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground or whatever. Yeah, not not great about that. Uh, and meanwhile, Peggy's sister getting a little bit agitated with Peggy and such. She got agitated when she found out that Peggy helped Colin Hanks with her sermon, and and she's like getting agitated of like her mom giving Peggy like praise on her work and such, and he's like, well, what the fuck, man, I'm the good one here. And then she goes to confession, and basically he's like, I'm the good daughter, and here's Peggy, she leaves her kid, and she's getting praise and such, like where's my reward for being the good sister? And Colin Hanks is like, well, it'll be okay. Like, you just say this thing, and we'll absolve you of your sins. And she does that. We then go to Don at his house. He's frustrated about how the American Airlines thing went. Bobby is playing with some robot at the dinner table. He spills a glass, and Betty is like, "What? You gonna do something about it, Don?" And then Don takes the robot and just throws that motherfucker across the room.
Fucking yeets it.
Is that what you wanted?
Of course, him and Betty get into an argument about that because, why not? He's like, well, I wanted you to spank him and not fucking, destroy our property or whatever. And he's like, I try not to, take out all my anger on all you guys. What the fuck? Then after that, Bobby comes in. He has a bit of a moment with him where Don tells him about his dad. He gives him a bit of consoling. And Betty is then still upset. He's like, hey, like, you tell me something. And he's like, yeah, my dad beat the hell out of me, and all it made me do was fantasize about killing him one day. So I'm not gonna spank our son. He wasn't half as good as I was, like, because I deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Oh yeah.
Betty consoles him at the end of the day, and then we head into it's Easter Sunday. Peggy is with her family, and she asked the Colin Hanks about how the sermon went. Says, "Yeah, it went by good." And then he gives her this little cryptic line of giving her an Easter egg, kind of as all the kids are doing an Easter egg hunt, and like the baby's like having trouble picking one. He hands her an egg, and he says, "For the little one," and just leaves her with that egg, and we get credits. And that is the end of three Sundays. Which it was over the course of 3 Sundays. I didn't.
There you go. Mark found out a potato chip brand
All
still
coming
exists. He didn't
together.
realize why it was called that. Also, we got to be worried about Don here. Don, this is the second time he's threatened to throw January Jones through. This one was the window. The other one was into the wall.
Well, he didn't do it.
I know, but he keeps threatening me. One day he might. This time he pushed her.
She was pushing his buttons all episode. So
I understand, but stop threatening to put her through. It's January Jones. Don't threaten me.
I'm not going to hit my kids, but you.
Like, just literally, like, you want me to push you through that window? Jesus Christ.
Well, he's like, well, you're old enough to throw hands. Like, he is.
Yeah, you can fight
Listen, Bobby ain't got nothing to do with this. I'll whoop your ass right now. I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was the best of the episodes overall. I thought it was like it had like all the worlds colliding. And Don clearly has a problem because he brings his work home with him, and he can't leave it at the door. So then the frustration sits and issues.
Yeah, this is probably like the most we actually got to see of Don like at home with the families. They pretty much had the one day where they pretty much just hung out at the house all day, and then all this stuff with him and Bobby and stuff. So yeah, I thought that was really kind of a good look of Don and kind of his past and how he wants to be a better father than what he had and stuff. So yeah, I think that's really good. I mean, I like that Vicky lady too, the call girl. I thought she was really good in this episode.
Well, Matt, keep it in your pants. What the fuck?
I thought she was a really good performance. I recognize that lady from somewhere. Yeah.
She's in things. I just really like the failed presentation angle of it. We see them getting all ready, and like there was like, well, we're gonna sell the hell out of this thing. It's like, yeah, we're done. Like we're not.
And we didn't even get to see the presentation that Don came up with either.
Don felt like he was about to have like his ace moment where especially after he goes out and there's like, all right guys, we're starting from square one. I know the presentation's in 2 days, but we're starting over.
Fuck off is what I would have said. To each his own. All right, I guess we're on to Sopranos. I'm interested to find out who this the bad guy of the week is.
I think I have an idea.
I think I do too, but we'll find out. Sopranos episode 2, guy walks into a psychiatrist's office. Kind of time jump overall happens in this one. I don't know how much time has passed, but there is some time. Weird montage. What I've learned in this thing is Sopranos are weird with their time jumps. They definitely, or their little montages they do.
The biggest win of the time jump though is AJ's haircut. Good job, kid.
Yeah, better for him. There's like a real estate class or whatever, and they mention, I don't remember who they mentioned. But they mentioned somebody, and the Asian guy turns around.
It was Christopher. Like that.
The Asian guy turns around and goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay."
They're taking a test for the license, yeah.
Doing that. Mom's up. Fuck, she didn't die. She's still alive. She's in a coma. Well, she's not in a coma. She's just in the hospital recovering.
Just a great way to put it. Fuck, she's still alive.
Yeah, Junior's in his orange jumpsuit. We get a weird, like 12-second shot of Walnuts plowing a chick, Tony plowing a chick. Just overall, Tony coming home, putting his clothes in the washing machine, climbs into bed. Him and Carmelo like make eyesight. Tony walks down to go get his newspaper, and in his driveway is Pussy, and he's sitting there, and they like starts thing, and he starts like having a conversation with him. They start getting escalated, so they have to go down the basement. But he's like, "You disappear, like you do that. I know there was a confusion. You came over to my house in the middle of the afternoon to tell me you're my friend. I knew I was dying. Like I had to get out of it." And he ended up going to Puerto Rico to get like this go through because he was addicted to Percocets, and he met this 26-year-old girl down there. But he had to come back because his kids are going to school, so they make up. They're back to being buddy buddy. Uh, Miss Dr. Jennifer is not uh, seeing Tony. Tony's not seeing her anymore, and he's like bombarding her with calls and like showing up at the house, and he's flipping out. Christopher is well, he's working at a new. What is this place that they're running?
It's a stock market thing.
Yeah, it's
selling stocks.
I think Junior was running it when he was out. I think it's kind of the thing that they got him on. So now, like, Christopher's running it.
Yeah, and Christopher's got two new thugs, Matt and Sean, NFL or football players of some sort, but they beat the shit out of a young guy, a nerdy guy, for not selling stuff. Tony is greeted by two older guys. I don't know who the older guys are, but basically telling them that Junior is going to get out on a health condition thing. We get fucking Silvio's fucking Al Pacino impression another time of like, they pulled me back in. They just live for it. But Big Pussy's like trying to gain like his what's the word I'm looking for? Like he wants to get back into what he was originally taking. He wants to get his money for his stuff, but they had to cover why he was gone. And like, we did the best we could. Like, there may be some shit that we fucked up along the way. Since what's the mom's name? Why Lydia?
Olivia.
Yeah, Tony's
so she's out. We had to replace her with just a fucking younger, just a more annoying soprano. The sister shows up at the house. God, women in the Sopranos, I just can't stand. Apparently, it's just a thing. But she's from Seattle, and she's talking about like taking mom and the car and like the house, all that stuff. And Tony's like, "Well, that's good. Like, good luck with that. Like, we're selling the house. Like, the house is up for market." Oh, okay. Tony not roughs up, but tells Christopher get his fucking guys in order. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't be just beating the fuck out of people. Her house, Tony's mom's house, is roughed up. Basically, it's like water running upstairs. Just a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Christopher and Matt and Sean basically have a meeting with Christopher, and he tells him, "Hey, listen, dumbasses, like you don't squeeze it all out in once, so you leave enough to keep going back for it." Meadow goes and visits grandma's house, doesn't care, like, "Hey, they can't keep me from you, like, Movie family, and they don't care about me, they hate me." Tony is listening to something on the radio, starts skipping or CD, beats the fuck out of the thing, goes into panic mode, crashes his car, sits down with another shrink.
Oh
yeah.
I think it is, right? And the guy's like, "I know who you are." Like the guy, like, I can't I can't be in this.
I know you're not Tony Smith or whatever fake name you told me.
Yeah, I've seen the TV. Carmela's like they're having a party at their house like every fucking other day. It's their parents in town. they're sitting there. Him and his other sister showed up, right?
Yeah, they're
Both sisters
visiting.
are there now. They're end up to talking about the situation with his mom and everything. Tony goes. Who's the sister? What's the sister's name?
Janice.
Janice leaves because she's going to this record thing and wants people to do it. So when Tony goes out, he finds out that there's the for sale sign out of the house is in the back of her car. He's like, that fucking bitch. If she was here, I'd put her head through the fucking wall. And then Carmela's like, will you calm down? Also, Carmela and Tony are having issues. He needs to start therapy again because you're self-medicating. We haven't had sex. A lot of things. So problems at the home life. But go be with your friends. Stop yelling. Like, oh my God, like Tony Soprano yells at this house. What a shocker. Like, who in the house would be like, this is fucking weird. Matt and Sean are sitting with Christopher and what's her name? Christopher's girl. Whatever.
Not Andrea. It's like
Adriana or something.
Adriana.
With something. Sits there and they're like, talking. He's like, hey, like Christopher starts like trying to be a big guy in front of Angelina. Angelina smacks the shit out of him, and he smacks her back, or he smacks her, she smacks him back, and goes, "Don't worry, they'll still suck your cock or whatever." And like, don't worry, they'll still think you're a big guy. Ends up leaving. And then episode Jennifer is sitting at a looking diner and Tony like sits down, is like, don't, and takes like the butter knife from her and like has a full conversation and goes, and she says like, my client died like suicide because of this situation. Like she can't call in, she can't when she's feeling blue, like any of that, like she's gone. And episode ends with Carmela and Tony at the thing. Did I miss anything in this episode?
I think you got.
You kind of covered the big.
Somebody got shot, right? I forgot the shooting.
Yeah, somebody got. I got Big Mouth Fuck got killed. I don't remember who that was.
That like kind of threw me for a loop until I looked it up later, or at the very least, I think this is just more of a convenient thing, just on their end, just because. The guy who got killed, I was pretty sure had a bigger part like throughout the show, and then apparently they played it off of like he has a twin brother, and that guy is like a main character. Like,
but why does he get shot?
Like he kept shooting his mouth off about like Tony almost trying to
kill his mom. He was talking about his mom trying to kill him, or like he was going in there with like the pillow to kill her and all that stuff. He had a big mouth.
He said the psychiatrist stuff, and he was like, he just shoots him. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was an interesting episode. It was kind of just like said, there was a little bit of time in between, is kind of catching you up with everybody. Introduced a new big character in Janice Soprano, and she's gonna be around and doing stuff. Christopher is still Christopher, just fucking shit up left and right. So yeah.
Yeah, I like how we don't get any backstory. It's just that him and Adriana just like back together. Like, for some reason, like she left him because he didn't believe in that dumb band, I
think they probably do that a lot, where they'll get in fights and then she'll leave for a little bit and then come back.
Yeah, we meet Janice, which fucking Janice.
Janice sucks.
So then of course everything she does pisses off Tony, and I do think it is funny how Tony is like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm starting to get sick again. I'm starting to pass out, and you're getting angry about every little thing. You don't think that has anything to do? then after you pass out and have a fucking conniption about your sister, your wife just hands you the biggest bowl of spaghetti I've ever seen in my life, and he just goes to town on it.
I was sitting there, I was like, God damn!
She's pulled out all the leftovers and be like, here you go.
she was about to give him some Parmesan cheese that he can douse. Like, that's what we need in this pasta, more carbs.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, we're in a decent spot. Definitely getting back into the things, and definitely meeting more characters that we are definitely set up to hate.
Yeah, there's a lot in this one. Do Not Resuscitate, episode 2. Please do not. Tony and Junior meet in prison on the call. Tony and Junior's like, Comet. These fucks listen to everything. Junior basically says, if roles were reversed, yeah, well, they're not, and you're fucking in there, so, like, deal with the thing. But your mother had nothing to do with it. If you want peace restored, apologize. She's dead to me. So, she's dead to him, so we'll see how that goes. Protests, right? Work like protests? Like, is that accurate? What's happening there? Like, there's construction conflict versus like, is it like race relations as well?
Yeah, they're like not hiring
Yeah.
like any of the black guys and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like that. There's a fight there. Janice and Tony are talking outside, and he's like, what's the sign? They're still got the thing, because if they have the listing, it's still active. Like, nothing changes with that. And he gets pissed off at her and is like, yeah, you take that, and next time you leave that fucking junk car, like, move it. Like, do not leave it here. If you're gonna be gone. So she goes and visits her mom. The mom's, of course, like, whining about fucking everything. Starts who's the big guy? There's a big guy introduced in this one that I can't
Bobby Bacala.
Bobby Bacala. Yes, they're meeting with Bobby Bacala.
Or the calzone on legs that Tony likes to call him.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Is Big Pussy in the hospital?
I think he got he
got
was in
surgery?
the hospital getting surgery on his back.
Yeah.
And then he's getting driven home by, who's that new guy?
He's a guy from the FBI. So as it turns out, Big Pussy was an informant all.
Yeah, right. He's like, you're gonna be the pushover for Tony. Like, don't even fucking wise. And then there's that Leonardo DiCaprio moment where you might notice somebody from another. There's
we got our first
Shield.
crossover.
Lady from the Shield.
Officer Danny is now a lawyer.
Officer Danny. I was like, I literally did it. I almost sent it in the chat. But they're negotiating that Junior needs to be out on house arrest, basically. And she's like, no, not at all. And then he's like, I'm leaning towards letting him out, but like this. And he's like, Junior, do you know what that means, house arrest? Not particularly. You can't leave your president.
Sounds like Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Tony meets with him, Junior, in a hospital thing to talk about the situation. Apologize to your mother. She's dead to me. Not happening. Then they have dinner with Janice and them all sitting around. Meadow and Janice are getting closer this episode. Basically, poor influence kind of situation that's happening there. Junior sits down with that big guy, the cow with legs,
Bobby.
Janice is playing like old Italian music with and wakes Olivia up and basically brings her flowers and like has this whole like nice moment with her mom, like talking about like wanting to bring her to Seattle and like live together, blah blah blah. Janice and Tony have like a moment at the pool, like kind of just a I wouldn't say like a bad moment, like they're an actually family moment, like
A
talking
sibling
about.
moment, yeah.
Yeah. Um. Uh. Janice goes back up to the hospital to see the mom. Mom has like a choking fit or like a coughing fit, and like she goes and gets the nurse. Nurse pulls her aside and tells her about the do not resuscitate, that they need to figure that shit out, like because like to not with the grief. So Tony and her has this whole conversation at the house in front of everybody about the do not resuscitate, and he's like, "What the fuck do I care? Like, oh god, like, oh, pull the plug out.
I think
I'll
we
do
can
that
all
'cause
agree we do not want to resuscitate her.
he's like, I will do that gladly, like no problem at all. Like we'll come to that when it matters, but right now I don't care." So Meadow and AJ go up to the hospital late at night to go visit, basically for Meadow just to be able to do some other shit. And then AJ, hey, do you know what a D and like a do not resuscitate? Is that similar to DNA? Like this whole fucking conversation. Mad about Meadow not being there too, and then one of my favorite. She's watching a cooking show. It's like he ain't washing his hands. Like just bitches about everything. So that strikes it into her, and then basically Livia is like fucking with Janice, basically. Um about like, do you know where my money is? Like, what, you don't want to resuscitate me? Like all that shit, like just bringing it all out to her like that. And then um uh and yeah, it's like this whole thing of like, oh well, what the fuck do you think's gonna, like, the situation? And well, Carmela and her have a conversation.
Like she calls like trying to be like kind of dementia, like she doesn't know who she's calling. He's like, yeah, and then about Janice, she's a snake in the grass. You gotta look out for. And Carmela, yeah, doesn't really want to hear anymore, so she hangs up.
She's hanging up as she's about to say, "If something ever happens to me."
Right. Oh, I forgot. Junior falls in the bathtub and hurts himself. Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. And I think that's so. I think I basically covered everything. I don't know if I missed anything else. I think Tony meets with the head of the people protesting the race relations, the
Yeah, meets
Reverend,
with the
right?
son of the main guy after he died. There's
Yeah.
a real nice line in there. They talk about like when the last of the old folks die, we become the old folks. I like that.
That was a good line.
Yeah. So yeah, soft episode.
I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah. Hey, if Janice wants to kill her mom, I support her 100%. So
I'm fully on board.
I mean, though Janice does need to be aware that once Olivia's gone, she is the lowest rung on the ladder. Like there has nobody to deflect like all the bad stuff away once Olivia is gone.
Yeah.
So it is funny that, of course, like, Olivia hears about the do not resuscitate and Janice was talking about, and like her next move is just, well, let me try to do this like dementia bit again where I like, pretend to like spill the beans on Janice. It's like I don't think I'm talking to Carmela, but I somehow managed to call Carmela about Janice.
Okay, next episode.
Yeah.
On episode 3, Toodle-Fucking-Oo. We introduced a very interesting character into this episode, I will say. A character that we haven't met, or I guess we have we met him? He just returns.
No, we haven't met him yet.
No.
Okay, so episode starts. Tony is called to his mother's house. Hospital, ambulance, cops. Meadow threw a party in her mom's old house.
Mama's house party.
And they're throwing a huge fit about it.
In your grandmother's house.
I swear I didn't do this. If I had a fucking quarter for every time I heard that fucking thing, let me tell you. So, They're discussing punishment. Richie. We're going to meet a character named Richie. Honestly, I don't know how everybody else feels. The craziest eyes I have seen on any individual in my life. This dude's eyes are crazy. He's meeting with a guy like a pizza, like a local shop, pizza place or whatever. Beats the fuck out of him. Why does he beat the fuck out of him again?
Well, he used to have like a piece of the pizza shops and stuff before he went into jail,
Right.
and now that he's out, he wants to get his he wants to start getting paid again. And the other guy's like, "Oh no, you can't do that. The stores are doing so good now. We'll take care of you though. Get him a
Picks up a chair,
sandwich."
throws it at him, and beats the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah.
Janice, Meadow comes downstairs, has had a bit of a little rough night. I think the negotiation was she lost her Discover card for 3 weeks.
Yeah, she comes out like, guys, I thought about it. I think you guys should take away my Discover card.
And
yeah, we were gonna do that.
Yeah, you bet your ass for taking
She
away his
plays him like a fiddle.
One of the
But
coolest
I might need some money for gas.
One of the coolest moments happens in this. Tony and Richie meet outside where basically where they meet.
Yeah.
And he sends up talking to him about like figuring out like wants to be brought back into the businesses. Talks about him being violent, like the situation that can't be happening. And he was like, I want to talk a business idea. And Tony gets up and immediately moves. And Silvio sits down and he goes, you can talk to him, but you can't talk to him here. Like, what the fuck was that? He's like, what, you gonna tell me what the fuck's going on? Yeah, you can't talk to him here.
That was good too, because that's where like he got introduced to Christopher, and he just like put Christopher in his place right away.
Right away, yes. Jennifer out at the restaurant where Tony is, kind of an awkward situation overall. Jennifer meets down Toodle-Fucking-Oo. She has that whole thing about that. She talks about should she go and see them, should she feel bad? Should she feel like morally obligated to do that? Then fucking crazy eye Richie is at a yoga class with Janice. Janice is threads and turns around and he's fucking sitting there. Apparently they had a thing a while back, like a long time ago. The tension, Tony is walking around the mall with him, basically having a conversation. They're getting more of clearly an early power struggle between Tony and Richie, and now having him try to fall in line. Janice shows up at the house, and Tony is sitting there and talks about, like, there's piss, and there's vomit, and there's all this house, blah, blah, blah. And she's sitting there and, like, don't tell me how to manage my kids. Oh, the Discover card. He takes that bowl and launches against the wall. He's like, listen here, I don't make it fool like why you're here. You just come here to pick the fucking bones. And then her and Carmela actually get into it because she's like, oh, the Discover card. And she's like, how about I tell you this one more time? Leave my fucking kids out of your mouth. Like, don't talk about them. Don't tell me how to parent. And they have that falling out. Richie meets with Junior, and basically Junior's like, hey, anything you need me to do, you just tell me. Like, I'm willing to work with you. Basically, knows he's not working with Tony is not going to give him what he wants, so he's going to try to work with Junior. Worst stand-up comedian that I've ever seen in my life, like, sits up there. It's like, oh, it's the only hockey box with maximum security. Did you hear me? Maximum security. Get the fuck off, you jerk off.
You know you have a good comedian when he has to repeat his punchline.
Yeah. And then there are basically the strippers come out. They're all having like a little God, Walnuts is one of my favorite characters. Like, just how he just he's interacting with one of those guys that like I don't know the whole story, but he's like, I'm a grandfather. No pictures now. Is that why they canceled your mother's audition? He's like, what the fuck you say to me? Like, he just switched like turns on him like that. I just loved it. Just gets onto him. And then this fucking wild exchange. I don't know if is it the same guy that he punched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same
That's
guy.
the pizza shop
Same
guy.
Yeah, he's just like fucking after his ass. Like he ends up like pulling a gun on him and chasing him down and like shooting at him. Carmela and Janice apologize for all the shit they went through. Finds out, gets the guy. They go back to Richie and this guy. Richie runs this car
He
into
could've came
him
back for his
multiple
car.
fucking times. What do you
Not.
do? What'd you say?
I say he came back for his car, and then you see the headlights
Richie-
come on across the alleyway.
Richie's just waiting. Yeah.
That's
And
what
let
Uber.
the most mad I've ever been at a show in my entire life. Meadow and her friend are in this fucking
100%.
kitchen.
This was a horrible week for stoves, but the worst thing to happen on a stove this week was the mess they made, and they are not cleaning that up.
Just overall, just no care. Just I was irate. I was like, you fucking asshole. There's a guy that just ran somebody down. There's people that are fucking doing terrorist attacks. This is one of the worst fucking crimes. I was so. If that happened in my kitchen, I swear to God, I'd be uncontrollable. Richie comes and visits Olivia at the hospital, basically, and is like, "Oh, your brother! I thought you died." And like, "No, my brother." "Oh, sorry to hear about that." Then Janice and him talk about like we weren't good for each other 25 years ago. We ain't gonna be good for each other now. Like it's just not a good idea.
What a fucking weird relationship. Like, just fucking Richie Aprile and Janice like just giving hard eyes to each other. Like, what is going on here?
The two craziest characters introduced in these episodes. Let's have them hook up.
Then I thought I was in a fucking. I had to rewind this part 3 times because I got really confused. Tony's driving, flipping out. I hear Wizard of Oz playing. I'm like, what is happening? Is the audio fucked up? Why is Tony Soprano listening to the Wizard of Oz soundtrack? We're out of the woods. We're out of the dark. We're out of the dark. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's Apparently a Dream by Jennifer. She has a dream. Basically, he's holding a bottle of Percocet or something. Tony goes and visits the guy that got hit by the Richie, and then basically like, you did this. Like, you okay with the girl's like, you're gonna do what's supposed to. And then he confronts him at the mall again. He's like, I thought I told you to put it in, like, stop it with Bernsey. I did, and then I put it in drive. And it's like, and then he just basically has a heated interaction about, and basically gives him a warning. So, like, so that's the final episode. Everybody's thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was a great episode. I thought Richie coming in is like a something that the show needed to kind of pick it up here at the start of the season. Just introduce just a total out of control character. You don't know what's going to happen, and all the stuff with the.
Meadow also has to clean the house. Meadow's cleaning the house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that house was a wreck. Yeah, I think that's great. I loved it when Carmela went off on Janice, but then I was so upset when she apologized later.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just Meadow and her friend. That was definitely upsetting. I got that here. That was the biggest thing from this episode. But yeah, really, really solid episode.
You know who's two like fathers in this like situation? We're like, that son of a bitch.
I mean, I am sitting here thinking a man was paralyzed, and you two are more upset at this fucking stove.
They were so careless about it, though, and they're just gonna walk away, and it's gonna get all hard, and
It's
Oh,
fucking
God.
milk. Put some 409 on it. It'll come right off. Like, you know what's not
Mark,
going to come
it's
right
the
off? Like,
he's got a
principle.
full body cast. He's okay.
It's the
I'm
fucking
Screws and
principle.
wires
It's the
every part of his body.
principle, Mark. It's the
Like,
principle.
After she already just wrecked the house too.
Oh, yeah, no respect.
Richie ran over Beansy for basically no reason because he's a maniac. He's trying to get back into prison. He just did 10 years. And I'm like, I'm ready to go right back.
Oh yeah, like the first
getting
day
this-
out, he just beats the guy in front of all the people at the restaurant.
Well, so we're in here upset about this, but you constantly every week defend Pete. Interesting how that seems to be the case.
I mean, Pete didn't Pete never ran over a guy for basically minorly inconveniencing him. Like just because he wants to start
that we
earning-
know of.
He could have cut him back in.
Yeah,
And maybe you agree to it after he beats the fuck out of you the first time.
I mean, yeah, although you hit it on the head at the very beginning with fucking Richie, which I do think it is funny because the only other place I know him in is Everybody Loves Raymond, where his his only other character flaw in that one is that he looks like a crazy man. Also, we're too scared to learn the truth about this guy to where in the Sopranos, he's just a crazy dude that will just snap on you for whatever reason. Like Paulie Walnuts was almost the guy handicapped in this episode for going after his mom.
Is that what your mom got you? What the fuck you say to me?
Doesn't know that we're shit talking here. Like, what are we doing here, Richie? We're just trying to have some fun. Also thought if we gave you that blowjob, that'd make you lighten up a bit. Apparently, that was the thing that set him off.
It's just fucking made him wild.
Yeah,
great episodes, though.
Yeah, I think we're off to a solid start with all three shows.
It's kind of weird. Like, we don't, it was weird. Like, last season, all we had to do, we could just bitch for days about fucking Oz. And right now, we're like, well, this show can be positive.
Well, in Oz's defense, we were mostly
like the first 3.5 seasons of Oz were pretty solid.
I was alone in talking down Oz for the first 2.5 seasons.
Yeah,
but then everybody else came along after season 3, after the boxing season.
Mark was ahead of his time.
Everybody was on board after that.
Yes, that is true. All right. Well, next week we are back on. We will have
bad guys.
Bad guy of the week. Mark, you wanted to?
Oh yeah, come on. Listen, we got some good nominations. I'm not gonna lie. We brought up a couple already, but for me, with the bullet, it's Richie Aprile. He paralyzed Beansy for no reason. I cannot stress that enough. He did all of this for no reason whatsoever. He's a crazy guy. 100% bad guy of the week. No challenge to me of that one.
Yeah, I flirted briefly with giving it to Shane because Shane did some horrible stuff this week. But I mean, it's nothing worse than he does on every week. So yeah, we'll give it to Richie. He came out the gate strong, so we should award it.
Am I going to be crazy enough and just give it to Meadow for what she did in that fucking house? And what she did?
I mean, she was with the house there. That's pretty bad. I wouldn't oppose you.
Or you can do a co-bad guy and give it to her and her friend for if you just want to do it for the stove.
Well, I think there's a few, so I'm going to actually give it to Shane.
Okay.
Because Richie, I think, had a reason to do it.
True.
All right.
When you ever look at somebody in the back seat and say, get the date rape stuff, and be like, don't act like you don't know what that is.
I think the biggest thing was his interrogation tactics.
And then to act dumb, and then to say, hey, if you don't do this, I'm going to rape you. Yeah, I'm going to be out.
And Lem and Ronnie were banging on that door, so they probably believed it.
Yeah, I'm out on. I'm 100% out on you when you do that. So, and he's just a fucking idiot of a cop, a terrible cop. Like, should never have been a cop. Like, so that's my bad guy. I think that's his first one of the year. For sure.
A little bit surprised neither of you went with Don. I really thought Don was pretty close to taking the mantle this week.
Hey,
when Don couldn't get it up,
that's good.
No. Yeah, Don had a great week.
Yeah, Don was pretty good this week.
I mean, he did forcibly do that, but that girl also did that to him, so it's kind of like their.
Yeah, that was their thing.
All right, getting even. Gotcha.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We condone that. Apparently, if it happens first, the first way.
It was the '60s. It was a crazy time.
I don't think they haven't even signed the Civil Rights Act here at this point. So let's be real. Wild.
Not the way they're talking about that one guy's girlfriend. Probably not.
100%. No. They don't even know what pregnant women look like. So interesting. So next week. 4 for the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 for the Sopranos. 3 for Mad Men. 3 for the Shield. We'll be back next week. Yeah. Bye.
Your turn to play bad cop?
Nah. Good cop and bad cop left for the day. I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.